Lesson 13, Mastering Emotional Self-Control, from Reactive to Responsive. Hello. In today's Learning Pack for a Grand Life, we are looking at mastering emotional self-control, from reactive to responsive. Today, we'll dive into a habit that can empower you to regulate your emotions. While it may sound simple in theory, implementing it in practice might be challenging initially. Emotion regulation isn't about suppressing feelings, but minimizing their impact on your life. Psychologist Dr. Daniel Goleman, a renowned expert on emotional intelligence, coined the term amygdala hijack. Our brains and bodies are not designed to handle a constant surge of potent hormones, so they're intended to last only briefly. Do you recall us mentioning the limbic system and amygdala, the parts of your brain responsible for emotions? We also touched upon how the amygdala can override certain brain areas, causing them to shut down and leaving you with only the amygdala's response. The prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for reasoning, logic, and language, becomes inactive when the amygdala takes control. Experiencing fear, which lies at the root of numerous negative emotions, triggers a rapid and potent amygdala response. Catching it before it releases hormones throughout your body and overrules your prefrontal cortex is extremely difficult. Within milliseconds of potential fear, the amygdala stimulates the hypothalamus, which in turn signals the adrenal glands to produce adrenaline and cortisol. Once these hormones enter your bloodstream, you'll notice an increase in your heart rate, breathing rate, blood sugar, and perspiration. A threat isn't limited to a fast-approaching car around the corner. When your partner becomes angry about something you're sensitive to, it can trigger a fear response. If your boss berates you in front of colleagues, that too can induce a fear response. Feelings of powerlessness or perceptions of being disrespected can also set off a fear response. To our brains, social threats are just as dangerous as physical ones. Historically, if we didn't belong to a group and were outcasts, our chances of survival were diminished. Consequently, threats to our sense of belonging were considered genuine threats to our lives. Our brain treats these situations as serious personal attacks. These reactions are so swift and ingrained that stopping the hormone rush is nearly impossible. Removing reason, logic, and language from the equation leaves you with an illogical urge to lash out. Thus, the objective isn't to suppress the emotion, but to halt the reaction. It's the reaction that strips you of power, leading to regrets and long-lasting negative consequences. The most crucial takeaway is that since we have limited control over these emotions, the only thing we can do is adopt and wait 90 seconds and then identify the emotion. The duration you should wait depends on several factors. Harvard brain scientist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor states that it typically takes 90 seconds for most hormones to dissipate and for your prefrontal cortex to reactivate. However, in many cases, you can control that loop. We understand that it's tough to gain control when emotions surge within us. If it feels like you've lost control, it's likely because your amygdala has shut down your prefrontal cortex. But your consciousness is potent enough to break through. There's always a ray of hope. You still have control. You just need to work harder to regain it. The simplest way to do this is to wait for 90 seconds. When you feel heated and agitated, with an accelerated heartbeat and a compulsion to lash out, give yourself 90 seconds and pinpoint the core emotion. If you're prone to outbursts, you might need to remind yourself of this every day. As you brush your teeth each morning, look in the mirror and tell yourself, wait 90 seconds and name it to tame it. Repeat it with us now. Wait 90 seconds and name it to tame it. Admittedly, you might still slip up sometimes. We're all human, after all. You're battling years of conditioning and millions of years of evolution, but you have to start somewhere, right? Gaining control over your emotions is essential for living a large, impactful life. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, once said, "You can always tell someone to go to hell tomorrow." This highlights the importance of pausing and reflecting before reacting to emotional situations. Practicing this habit consistently can help prevent impulsive decisions or actions that could harm relationships or opportunities. So, take a step back and give yourself time to process your emotions. Learn to harness the power of emotional regulation by waiting 90 seconds and naming your emotions. By doing so, you'll gradually find yourself better equipped to navigate life's challenges and build stronger connections with others. Remember, living a grand life starts with mastering small habits that contribute to your emotional well-being. As you continue to practice habit number 13, you'll gain greater control over your emotions and ultimately enhance the quality of your life. Stay committed to this practice, and you'll soon experience the transformational power of taking a step back, waiting 90 seconds, and naming your emotions to tame them. In summary, the learning pack on tiny habits for a grand life provides you with the essential tools to master your emotions and thrive in various aspects of life. By practicing these habits consistently, you'll not only improve your emotional intelligence but also cultivate a more fulfilling, impactful, and grand life. Stay dedicated to your journey, and always remember, wait 90 seconds and name it to tame it. This is the end of our lesson from today. If you like what we are doing here at Life Theory, a like would be very appreciated, and to subscribe will mean a lot.